are live. Hello and welcome to another review from the Benefit of the Dowd podcast on the Benefit of the Dowd podcast YouTube channel. I'm your host, Adam Dowd, and joining me as always is co-host Cliff. Cliff, how you doing this evening?
I am fantastic. I feel somehow crisper.
You are crisper.
Yeah.
I always like to, and so I guess we should say welcome to the Benefit of a Dowd podcast now in 1080p, which I didn't know we weren't 1080p before, but we're kind of new to this whole YouTube thing anyway. So,
well, I think if you go back and you watch the last 5 or so videos from our channel, you will see progressive improvements.
Yes,
just about every area.
This is not sustainable.
Damn it!
In a month and a half will be MKBHD.
I'm gonna have a giant armatron just moving a camera around.
Yep.
Motion graphics that'll be amazing.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have a staff of like 16 people. It'll be great. It'll be great.
The show.
So yeah, just keep going because we'll be there. We'll keep watching because we will be there. You mark my words. A month and a half from now, we will not be there. Okay. Anyway, so we are here to do a review of the iLive 40-inch HD soundbar with Bluetooth, and this is a device sent over by iLive, obviously. And now, normally we would kick in Skippy the review cam here, but we can't do that because this is actually mounted to my wall. So and even if it's okay. So
just
folks,
live feed of the same thing.
Folks, let me show you something here. Where did I put my? Okay, so this is a 40-inch soundbar. Okay, so this is 40 inches right here, from here all the way over to here. Can I do it diagonally? Will that? Hang on. What if I back up?
I don't know. 1080p even has its limits.
Yeah. So like something like that. Okay. There you go. That is a 40-inch soundbar. So if you're wondering why we don't have this on camera, that's why. Anyway, I did take some really terrible photos of it that I can share with you. But yes, I just wanted to give you kind of like the rundown before we dive into the photos, so I can give you the information that you want to hear before you see the really terrible photos that I took and then stop the video. But anyway, so it's a 40-inch soundbar, and that's exactly like they offered me. They said they wanted to send me a soundbar. They said, "Do you want a 20-inch or a 40-inch?" I'm like, I think it was a 28-inch or something like that. I'm like, why don't we go 40? I've got room, And they're like, okay.
Opportunity, you always go bigger.
Right. It's like pizza, when you always order the bigger pizza. And so like they sent this to me, and like I opened up the box. I'm like, oh, that's 40 inches, all right. Yeah, that's a whole.
I think we've all had that experience where you order something online and then you get it, and it's the giant box in your porch, and you're like,
Or the opposite. Sometimes you order things thinking like this is going to be amazingly huge, and like it shows up and it's like that big. So, needless to say, you should always, pay attention. And just for the record, if you are going to order this soundbar, right there, that's what we're looking at here. I am only for reference, I am only sitting about 34 inches away from the camera. No, 35 inches. I'm 35 inches away from the camera. So I could not even fit this soundbar in between my head and the webcam, just so we're on the same page here. That's what we're talking about here. So anyway, it has two built-in 3.5 by 2 inch, it's 1.97, but 2-inch stereo speakers, and it's got two 3-inch subwoofers, and
it's all built in.
It's all built in. It also has built-in Bluetooth. It has RCA cable connections and digital audio connections. Digital audio is the one that I'm actually using when it's connected to my TV. Huh?
Spitif.
I don't know what that means.
That's what I always call it. It's the SP.
Oh,
I think that the optical audio.
Okay, and by the way, I should have disclaimed this at the beginning. I am not a sound guy. Okay, so like, if I sound like an idiot,
but me.
if I sound like an idiot, that comes naturally. But anyway, so I was originally going to set this down. I've got a TV in my family room that's over on like a bookshelf, and I was going to set it down in front of that, have it be like that. It didn't quite fit. Like, it was a little bit too deep for it to fit there. So it actually has wall mount pegs that you can mount it to the wall. So I actually mounted it to the wall above my TV, which actually worked out kind of well. It looks a little weird because it has like the feet and it has the subwoofers, pointing down like from above the TV. So it's kind of weird from that regard. But other than that, it's not bad. The wall mount pegs are offset from the back of the soundbar, so you can
vibrate.
Well, so it doesn't vibrate, and also so you can, the cables, so the cables can fit down below it. So, but yeah, overall sound quality, it's okay. One of the things that I really like to look for when I'm testing audio products is bass. And this, it's a 3-inch subwoofer. So like, how much bass did you think you were going to get with it? So manage your expectations. It doesn't get as bassy as I normally would like to see it or hear it, I should say. Like when you're listening to like, dubstep music, it doesn't kick in with that little,
I don't picture you being someone who listens to a lot of dubstep. That's all.
Well, I listen to Lindsey Sterling and she does dubstep violin. So, but anyway, so like when it kicks in, you don't really get that super deep bass. You do get, I would say kind of like mid-range bassy tones and up, but like you're just missing that oof, that like super duper.
We have a listener joining us.
Oh shoot, I forgot to make this not live. Well, hello, listener.
Hello, Samuel. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Sam, how you doing? I was just on his podcast. So that's like my overall impressions. The one thing, my one kind of downside, and you'll see this in the terrible photos that I took, but the one downside that I don't necessarily like is there's no visual interface on the front. There's just like little LEDs that show you like what mode you're in, like if you're in optical mode or if you're in Bluetooth or whatever, but there's no like volume indicators. So like if you turn it up and you turn it down, there's no pips, there's no numbers, there's just nothing. You just turn it up until it says max volume and then you're done. And then you're done. There
is something to be said for that though, because sometimes you don't like light pollution, right? When you've got the room dark and I'm sure
very true.
Actually, a consideration maybe when they made the product choices that they did.
Yeah. So, again, it's not it's a very valid point, but for me, I would like to know like what volume I'm at, because you'd like to know like when I'm down here in my basement and I've got like the heat running and I've got the washer and dryer running, right. I need to kind of crank that thing. So I'd kind of like to know like where I am as opposed to like when all that stuff turns down and I can, return it to a normal volume level without just pushing button. And funny enough, I actually shut down Skippy the review cam before we came on because I wasn't going to be able to do this. But I realized as we were starting to record, I could actually show off the remote on Skippy the review cam. But
tiny smartphone.
It is. It actually kind of does. So do you have the Chromecast with Google TV, right?
Yes, I do.
So like this is the remote for that, and then like this is the remote for that.
Tiny.
Yeah, it is. It is super tiny.
Easy to lose. Yay!
Easy to lose remotes
for my sound bars. So there you go.
But yeah, so you've got like the buttons here, like allow you to pick, what you want to connect to, whether it's like RCA or audio, and then like these are, let's see, treble, bass. Non-existent bass, but treble, bass, and volume. And then across the bottom, there's like play and skip track and stuff for when you're connected via Bluetooth.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad sound bar. It's $90, similar to what the other product that we reviewed earlier this evening that didn't go live accidentally. But
Here's a question though: does it
yeah,
have DTS or any of that kind of like fake surround sound stuff built into it?
let me check if it does.
Let me check this.
I'm not an audio guy, so I.
Here's to the story.
Yeah, it does not.
No,
or at least if it does,
I wouldn't expect it. To be honest.
Yeah,
because it sounds good. I was just curious.
It sounds okay.
A lot of that also that kind of stuff. The certifications doesn't necessarily mean that it can't perform it. It's kind of the same way that if you have a smartphone and you have the IP68 water resistance or not, if it doesn't, then it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have water resistance. It's just that they didn't pay for this.
Right. They didn't pay for the certification. So yeah, it's like I said, it's fine. I mean, it's a $90 soundbar, so I'm not really sure how much more you wanted.
40-inch, goodness.
Yeah, and the nice thing is I can connect it to my smartphone, and when I want to listen to some music, I can just like connect it up real quick. It doesn't, it connects, easily enough, and then just hit the Bluetooth button on the remote, bada bing, bada boom, got the music going. So I mean, and I like the addition of Bluetooth. I think that's a nice addition because some people are going to want to connect up a smartphone on the fly just because they can. So that's a nice call for me. I like the fact that it has RCA because RCA is works for everything. And then like the digital audio, that's what I'm using just because, it's one cable instead of two, basically. Oh, I should also mention that this includes a digital audio cable in the box.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is a very nice addition.
Depending on where you go, if you go to Best Buy, it's $50. If you go to Walmart, it's $5.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what it is. So let's get into the shitty photos. Because, that's just, oh man, these are so
here.
These are so on brand for the benefit of a doubt podcast. Let me just tell you.
1080p.
But anyway, so bam. So there's the mounting peg for it. I am currently holding the soundbar upside down, which is why the small part is on the bottom and the big part is on the top. It is not designed that way, so don't panic.
Bother to rotate it.
I couldn't even be bothered to rotate. No, it was I was holding it like that. Anyway, it's fine. Ignore the messy shelf behind me. So there's the RCA and the digital audio, and then the power plug that plugs into it. And then what's next? I'm at the end there. So bam, there's the 80s house
speakers though. That's cool.
So yeah, those are the subwoofers up on the top there. Oh, I can move my mouse over here and you can see it. So these are the two subwoofers here. And then this is like a cloth grill on the front. And then these right here, those are the LED lights that indicate like what you are currently connected to. Red is digital audio, blue is Bluetooth, and I want to say it's like green and white for there's a 3.5 inch audio jack, so you could plug in something like that if you wanted to. And then RCA is the green. And then we move on to the next shitty photo, which is that's the soundbar above my TV, and that's my family over on the side there. And then this is a really dusty front grill. So yeah, I mean these photos are terrible.
I mean, here's the thing. At the benefit of the doubt, we show you real world photos. We don't show you the polished, small room that are professionally lit and a $5,000 DSLR. We're taking photos in our house. So.
And not to mention, like I said, we're not at MKBHD level. We've still got 2 months for that. Right. So we've
just got 1080p. Yeah. So
exactly. I mean, what more do you want, people? And then those are all the shitty photos that I took. So bye.
I think I saw one of your hairs in there.
Yes, you did. It might have been a dog hair. It could have been my hair. It could have been a dog hair. Could have been my daughter's hair. Who knows? It's just hair. And, we needed to capture that for posterity. Right. Why the hell is this video live? Anyway.
DNA evidence later.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, see if I'm related to anybody on the Mayflower, Spoiler alert, I am. But you can run DNA on that and prove it definitively. So this is going very well. But no, I mean, did you have any other questions about the soundbar?
I think it's something that I would be interested in. In fact, one thing I really like to do is because right now I have a Samsung TV with a Samsung soundbar, Walmart special that I think I paid $126 for, and I don't want to insult Walmart, but you know that
it's Walmart.
So yeah, exactly. I don't need to say it anymore.
Right.
So, but no, I've actually been contemplating about replacing my soundbar.
Walmart is the benefit of the doubt photos of shopping centers.
My face is red now, which is the Walmart color of photos for now.
Yeah.
No, but my soundbar also has like the giant subwoofer on the floor, which is fine, except that I have a small house and I would really like to free up some space. And so I've been contemplating doing, I mean, honestly, like if I was a wealthy man with a pinky, I would get like a Sonos bar. Like,
if only you had a pinky. Actually, honestly, with as bad as you are with money, I'm kind of surprised you haven't bought one yet by now. But anyway, no.
But something like that, where I decrease the amount of cables, especially if I can do. I mean, that's actually something I want to ask you. Are you running it off of Bluetooth? No, you said you were running it with a digital audio. Have you tried it with Bluetooth?
I have played things from my phone using Bluetooth, but I have not connected a Bluetooth to the TV because I don't believe my TV has Bluetooth.
And especially when you're doing streaming, because you can already experience some difference between the frames and then what the audio is.
I haven't watched video with it, so I've only played music. But yeah, that is my failure. And again, on brand for the benefit of a doubt podcast.
Less for something like that, so this would be one to consider. I mean, that's a lot of speaker. For money.
And I should point out that the soundbar does sound better than the speakers on my TV. So I mean, it is a very low bar. So I mean, like it's a relatively cheap upgrade although actually TVs are getting so freaking cheap these days. But I mean, like
a 90-inch TV for $90.
I know, seriously. I was actually at Walmart the other day and I was looking at some of their TVs and it's like, my God, like how big are these things? I mean, like I'm a projector guy. I'm all about the projectors. So, I can have any size TV I want, but this would actually be a nice addition to a projector or something like that.
Right.
But anyway, so if you have a TV that doesn't have speakers in it, or if it has crappy tinny speakers that you don't like, this is a decent upgrade, and it's not going to break the bank. It's less than $100. So and you can connect your phone to it, and you can connect a couple of other devices to it using the various different type of connectors. It's fine. I mean, I dig it. I like having it connected to my TV.
Especially, I mean, you're talking about, your TV in, I guess I wouldn't, this is your...
This is my office, my family room,
office, yeah. Right, yeah, for like a secondary TV, especially.
Oh, no, it's the primary TV. But we don't watch TV in my house, so...
that's right.
I
forgot about that.
I mean, there was a time up until a couple of years ago, we did not have a functioning TV in my house for like 5 years. But so I'm slowly rebuilding the set. But yeah, so it's decent. I dig it. For $100, I challenge you to find something better for $100. Honestly, for less than $100. So there's you could either buy that or you could buy a monster flashlight, and they're actually both the same price.
I didn't realize that. That's true.
Yeah, they are both the same price. But anyway, so yeah, it's the 40-inch soundbar from iLive. You can actually get a smaller version if you don't want the gigantic one that I have. That is wait for it, that long.
Oh, if we only did that to the more professional thumbnails now, that would be the thumbnail. Just you with the measuring tape.
Wait, hang on. Ready? There's our thumbnail right there, everybody. But anyway, but yeah, so you can't really go wrong. It's less than $100, and it'll upgrade your sound if you're just using like stock TV sound. So
that's
yeah.
And who could ask for anything more?
Who could ask for anything more? All right, now that I've sung badly and taken photos badly, and I don't know, just generally my face appeared on video, which is never a good idea. Let's go ahead and
1080p.
Let's go ahead and wrap up this 1080p podcast. That's going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Please consider subscribing to this podcast if you enjoyed it. And if you really enjoyed it, I would love it if you would write a review for the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, just like Sam is, hi, Sam, then you can click that subscribe button down below and you can be notified of new episodes and reviews as they drop. And if you want some early access, jump onto Patreon at patreon.com/benefit of the doubt. By the way, Cliff and I need to talk about this. We're going to be rejiggering the Patreon a little bit in the not too distant future because, yeah, it needs some love. Anyway, and speaking of which, I would like to thank co-producer Cliff for hopping on and talking to me about the iLive Soundbar 40 and all of his hard work behind the scenes, including our brand new thumbnails. So for now, that's going to do it. Most of all, and as always, I would like to thank you for listening and for giving us the benefit of the doubt.